One of the requirements of trading is that it requires you to get a tool that can enable you to see what price is doing. Now, mere looking at the chart, you will see that nothing is actually happening. That it is actually very difficult for you to identify the direction of the market. Though it looks as if the market is down, and after a while there was a shift and market started going up. But we still need confirmations, which is the role of the trend line, okay, to give us that direction. Now, trend line is actually an indicator that actually tells us what price is doing. Now, to draw trend line, we need to understand that it respects major swing points. Now, what are swing points? Swing points are actually zones in the chart that price actually pull back to. These are the swing points, pull back to before it continued the trend, to the upside. So as you can see, we have how many swing points? One, two, three, four. So we have four swing points that price is respected. But for me, I like to use what is called major swing points, not just, let me zoom this out. Major swing point, not just swing points. Okay, like this one is a major swing point. It's a major swing point, but this is not. I like to use major and significant swing points. So to draw a trend line, we go get the trend line here. So we tap on it, can tap on it here and it comes up. When we draw, we start drawing from this major swing point here that started it. One thing you need to know is that the price is actually moving with the trend. It's actually using the trend line to use that movement. Okay, now take note for this. Some of the times the market respects swing point with wicks. That some of the times it respects with the bodies. Whichever way, you have to confirm if it is going with the direction of the trend. Like you can see here, it actually works with the body and some of them with the wicks. Okay, so now another thing is, how do we know when to get in? Now this is a 4 hours. I recommend you do the trend drawing, the drawing of the trend with the 4 hours higher time frame, so that when you go down to the lower time frame, we can actually look for potential entries. Okay, now something happened here which I'm going to be explaining with you for you in this video, and I need you to stick with me to the end so you can get access to it. So for me, I like to jump down to the 30 minutes time frame. Moving from 4 hours, I move to 30 minutes, 2 time frame lower, to give me a clear picture of what the price is doing. Now there is something else that I do. Whenever I'm in the 30 minutes like this, I actually look for where to get my first TP, and I do that with the trend line also in the 30 minutes. Don't forget, we have an overall trend line which we are using, but this 30 minutes on is going to be telling us what to do. Okay, how to get out. I use the 30 minutes to get out first. So we're going to be identifying these trend lines here. I'm going to be explaining one big mistake that traders make, beginners traders mostly. Look at this here. This market is bullish here. So we have this 1, 2. Now this is the place I get out, because while I've seen the breakout, I take the first TP. If you're a beginner, you can take your first TP and all of that. Now there's a big mistake that traders make. When the price come back here, the price has given them another opportunity. Don't forget, there are lots of opportunities in the market, but you need to know which of them to take and which of them is good for you. What happened here? This market has actually gotten here, and so many folks are selling, and they wonder why they get stopped out. Because why? They are on the wrong side of the trend. Okay, I'll show you what happened here in this chart. I'll come back to it. Okay, so then the wrong side of the trend, they got stopped out. Now another folks will be like, oh, this is not the right place to draw it, so they'll draw it here. Let me adjust this a bit. Okay, they will draw it somewhere here, and some of them even go as far as making sure that it touches the trend line. And some other folks will be selling here, good risk, and boom, they get stepped out again. So here it's actually crazy. Whichever way you choose to do it, it's actually crazy, because why? When you get this pull out, pull back, you should be doing something else, and that's going to the 4 hours again. The 4 hours is the one that gives you instruction. This is another entry for us here. Now when the price comes here in the 4 hours, we want to look for opportunity to enter. Then we go down to the 30 minutes again and see if it comes to it. So it did. It came here. This is it here. As you can see, we have a low risk to get involved here. Now you're going to be doing another thing. After getting involved here, you draw another trend line here and wait for price. Don't do something like this, because the market does not move in this straight order. You do something like this. From the first swing point, touch another swing point, and then we have this. This is the crazy thing that most guys are doing. Should I show you? We had another break here, and price came back here and came to this trend line here. Somebody was selling. Why? Because they think the market will drop. But you know that the market is bullish. That's why you need the 4 hours to give you clarity. Okay. So what happened to them? They got stopped out here. They got stopped out, and price actually was retraced back down. Came to the last trend line here and went up. Now there's one thing I've noticed, that the price actually respect trend lines mostly 3 times, aside from this one. Aside from where it started, it respected 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. This one was a breakout. You always get the breakout after 3 times. Now a quick takeout. What happened here is that the market gave us a signal that it wants to reverse, and it broke out from the trend line and went up, back up. Okay, this is a signal that price wants to what? To reverse. Now one thing that I want to give you, as if you're a beginner trader and you're looking forward to a market to trade using the trend line, I recommend you start up with GBP/JPY, because it respects trend lines a lot. So let's check the bearish scenario, and I'm going to be showing you a trade that I took in this. I've already dropped a video about it on YouTube, so the video is already available. I dropped it yesterday. You can gain access to it, and also if you want to join our Telegram community, it's open on our biography. You can check it there. So let's go down to 15 minutes. But first of all, let me show you the trade that I took here. These are swing points. Swing points. I don't mostly enter here, depending on what I see. But yeah. So we have this. So this was where I entered. This was where I entered the trade. Yeah. So let's go down to 15 minutes. I just want to show you 15 minutes, but okay. Now let me show you what happened here. This was the trend line. Remember the trend line I told you about, that the market respects it. Now this is one thing I want to show you guys. I need you to listen closely. Whenever the market comes to the trend line like this here, notice there was no entry trigger. I'm going to be explaining what entry trigger is briefly. There was no entry trigger here in this 15 minutes. It shows that it's not time for you to get involved. You wait for a break of structure. That's what I always wait for before the market comes back here for you to drop. Let's go to 5 minutes. Let me show you what I'm saying. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay, this is what I have. Notice in this 5 minutes that there was no entry trigger. What is an entry trigger? It's a signal for you to get involved in the chart. The price later gave us the entry trigger that I'm talking about here. Sorry. Okay, should be here. Get this out. Please, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, that's the best you can do to support us. Don't forget to subscribe, and also share this video to your friends as well. Okay, this was where I get involved in this trade. I'm going to be showing you. Okay, I've already dropped a video about it on my Telegram group, and also it's here on YouTube. You can gain access to it. So we have it here. We have it here. What is an entry trigger? It's actually involved. It's a signal that you should get involved on the trade. So what happened? This covered this bullish candle. Yeah. So this was where I entered the trade from, and market dropped. Why did we enter here? Because price gave us a signal in a very significant zone. Okay, that we should actually what sell from that zone. Okay, that's all. You can actually do your back test on GBP JPY and confirm the trend lines and see to it that it works a lot.